this is Lani with Broken Seashell Stamping, and today's video hop that I'm participating is the Stamp Around the World, and it's for the month of July 2026. The theme this month is a masculine card. So, well, masculine, not necessarily a card, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a wallet card, at least that's what I'm calling it. And this is I'm probably not going to use the dies, just going to be using the gears and textures. So if you have those, if you don't, you could use any other stamp set that is kind of more geared towards men. And then for the colors today, we're going to use Crumb Cake. You're going to need a blending brush, and I'm using early Espresso, but I'm out of ink, so I found an old one. This is chocolate chip, so it's as close to that. So we're going to be using a darker color to age the pockets, kind of like this is my example, and we're going to use the Stylish Shape dies. This one is the 2 1/4 diameter. That's to give our little pocket, and we're going to have a gift card with this. So I will do most of that. I did all the cutting first, so I will just tell you the measurements. Now, if you have a corner rounder, that's what I used on this, which will make it a little nicer. You can leave them straight edges as well, but I thought it looked more wallet-like by this. So this is the Crumb Cake, and I cut it along the long end, well, the short end at 4 1/4 by 11. Then you're going to score that at 5 1/2. Yeah. So those are the measurements, and I'm going to be making this card on this video hop. So please stay tuned for some quick stuff to put together. And once you're finished here, please do go visit the other ladies that are participating in this hop and show them some love. We'd all really appreciate that. All right, let's get stamping. Okay, so for the edge first, I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper so I don't get it all over my board here. And we're going to use this one. Like I said, it's really old chocolate chip, but early Espresso is what I was planning on using. I just ran out of it. So we're going to get some ink on here, not get on my pieces. And we're just going to age the edges. So we're going to just go along all of it. Now, the darker you kind of get, the better. And you want to use that. I don't have an example. This is the first one I'm doing. So you're kind of along for the ride to see how this comes out. So we're just going to age up this edges here. Keep it going. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and color all the edges. Okay, so now once you've done aging the inside and outside, you didn't have to do too much in the back, but wanted to make sure we got a dark aging look to this card. So it's got some elements that's not super decorative. And so now we're going to use these little pockets. Now you can do 2 pockets or you can do 1 pocket. This size here is, I believe, by 4 2.5. Let me double check here. Yeah, 4 by 2.5. And what you're going to do is you're just going to corner around the bottom 2 edges, because this is going to be one of our wallet pockets for the inside of the card. Now, this would be perfect for a gift card, so that the measurement, you could put a gift card right in here for your gift for your dad or your brother or cousin, whoever this card is going to be for. But if you wanted to make it look a little bit more like a wallet, we can do 2 pockets. And so I did kind of like a mock pocket. If you wanted to do 2 full pockets, you could, but that would make it a lot more bulky, and this is just kind of an easy card. So I'm only going to do 1 pocket, and then that mock pocket. So it's just a piece of cardstock that was left over from when I cut these little pieces. And this size is the 4 inches, and it's only 1 1/4 inches. So I do want to edge this, and I'm going to put a little pocket in case there is a chance we want to put 2 pockets in there. And the mock pocket, I wanted to see if we could still put like something in there that they can pull out, but we'll see. For now, I'm just going to do the mock. And so what I'm going to do is age this up as well. And I'm going to speed that up so we can save some time. And then the other piece is this insert we're going to put for our sentiments on the inside. I cut this one at 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. So it's 4 3/4 long, 3 3/4 wide. And I'm also going to age that on the sped up video. But before we do that, we want to cut out our, and I'm doing like a stitch die. That's what this is for. You can see the little mock stitches, and then we'll get to stamping. But this is going to be the little opening, so it's easier to get our card out. Now I know wallets don't necessarily have a little hole here, but for the card's sake, we're going to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut that before I age it. So these are now die cut out with those 2 little pieces. So we're going to go ahead and age up these pockets. And once we get all of our aging done, then we will be ready to stamp and assemble this card. All right, I'm going to speed this up. Okay, back now, done with our aging. And so now we're going to get our gears and textures out. I might use Crumb Cake, but I was also thinking of using pecan pie. So, and then the inside, so the textures that we're going to use, let's see, I want to use, kind of want to use this chain here because some wallets have chains on it. So let's go with the chain. Let's see. I think this texture will look good. And then the little screw. I want to use the Phillips. Or the X would be okay. I think I'm just going to use that one there. So that's here. Because we want to be able to have the wallet secured together. Set these aside. Okay. Now the other thing, this one here has some pretty cool, almost like stitching. So that's why I was going to use this one and maybe one of the cars for the front. So let's see how that looks as well for the stitching. We don't want the stitching to be forgotten about. Now, I also, especially if you don't have the Ready, Set, Go stamp set, you can just put the dots around, or the stitches around. So if you're going to do it that way, you just get out a ruler. You could do it freehand, but I prefer the ruler. So you get out the ruler and you can line it up with your grid so you can get a straight line. And then you just stitch out your edges. And then you can go around the corner, turn it around. And then just keep going all the way around your wallet ends. So, and that's using the pecan pie. But I'm going to use this little stitching here. All right, let's put these stamps together so I don't lose them. All right, so here's the stitching and the chains. And texture here. Let's put this there. itty bitty screwdriver. Screw. Okay. Now I think, let's see, could do a happy birthday. I'm trying to think of which stamp I want to use. If I want to use the car. Well, let's do the stitching first. Okay. And I am going to use the pecan pie because I don't want my stitches too dark, but I also don't want them super light either. Now I would open the flap up. Let's see how this car line works. There we go. And that's there. Now I'm gonna use my scrap paper again just so I don't get my thing messy. I don't want it all the way. So I'm gonna put just the edges right there because this doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and then right here on the edge. And go ahead and try it like this. On this edge. All right, so now we have our stitching. Is that not too shabby? So while we've got that out, I'm going to go ahead and get the pockets. Get that on the pockets. And I don't want to get it quite clean yet. So let's see, probably about that much there. There we go. And okay, and the last part, I'm just going to put this on the side there. There we go. All right, we should be done with that stitching now, so we can clean that up. And now let's get the crumb cake out and do some of our textures. Let me get this. All right, we'll just put some there. Let me stamp off a little bit. Yeah, I like the stamp off better, so stamp off, put some there. Just some grunge here. The nice thing is it doesn't have to be anywhere specific. All right. Now I think, let's see, I don't think I want to use pecan pie. Let's see what colors I've got here. Let's use a gray granite. I have a little spot for our little screw here, right in the corner. There we go. Yeah, I like the gray granite better. Got all four corners of our wallet. The stitching goes over it, it's okay. So there's our four corners. And let's get, I've got here, here, there, there. All right. So there's our front. Here's our, oh, we want to do, now there should be stitching on the inside. Let's see. And let's get the little screws on the top of this one. All right. I don't really think I want to put, you know, we'll go along with the screws on here. Let's just screw these on without the stitching. And let's do our chain. Now, I'm going to do the chain. I think I'm going to do the chain in the gray granite too. Wow, maybe we should do that in a gold color. Yeah, let's just try it out. We've got a new one. Let's try the Golden Glow. And I dropped my cow. Let's try the Golden Glow. If we don't like it for the chain, we can always, we don't have to glue this in. Oh, this needs to be fixed. It's not quite in the middle. I'm gonna give myself some extra real estate there. All right. We're just gonna add our chain across. We'll put right there. This is kind of in the way. Let's see if we get. And then we'll just have it hanging off the edge there. So put that little piece so we make sure it connects. So there's our little chain in the inside of the. I'm so not used to these. I'm not sure I like them yet. I keep dropping them everywhere. All right. Now, the assembly, although I do want to stamp the front first. Not bad. Not too bad. I decided I want to put the stitching on the inside because we already did it. Let's go ahead and get some stitching on the inside. Let's get back the pecan pie. Ah, I stuck my finger in there. A little bit of ink doesn't bother me, but that would have gotten all over my card. Here I am saying that I'm better with these ones and I still have issues. All right, let's put I'm going to put the stitching. You know, I'm going to stamp off a little bit. Let's do the inside stamping a little lighter because, stitching, because it's the inside and it shouldn't be as apparent as the outside because the stitches are coming in from the inside or showing from the outside. Okay, my nose is not agreeing with me. Let's try it lighter here. There we go. Let me clean this off. Of course, this color does not look good on a baby wipe. All right. Now let's just stamp off some and get our corners. So I just want a little bit in here. There we go. I'm stamping off down towards the bottom. I'm doing the double that way it's not distracting my. All right, I think we're done with that. All right, now I think our car should be gray granite or crumb cake for our inside our wallet here. So let's get one of these out. Now, I'm wondering if we should pop it up like a little label. Let me get something out. I decided to get out the square stylish shapes, and that is going to be, let's see here. It is the 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. That's that square. And so I'm going to cut that out with the, I'm going to use the, start with the aged one that I already did. And I'm just going to cut out this square here but I'm going to stamp first. And I decided I'm going to use the checkered flags because I feel like I've seen that kind of print on a wallet before. Like either a flag or something that's kind of that type of theme. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm done with, I'm not sure if I'm done with this texture. Let's get out another block. Okay. So got the checkered flags and I'm going to do that in Secret C. I want it to be darker. And it's my favorite color. So I'm going to do Secret C. Just going to go ahead and, oh gosh, yeah, that looks perfect. I like that. So I'm going to do that in there. Now I was thinking about, I'm going to do that with the pecan pie. Okay. So let's go over to the die cut machine and we're going to cut this out just like that. I feel like this would have the little studs in them as well, but I'm just gonna do a little bit of checker type stitching with this one here and go ahead and stamp off, and then yeah, just kind of go around it. There. And I am stamping off just because I don't want it to be super dark. All right. And now that gray granite back out for the little screw pieces. Where did I put that at? There it is, gray granite. Okay. I'll put those in the corners. Oh, perfect. Now, that is going to be a neat little element right there in the corner. I feel like it needs a darker outline. Let me see, get some pecan pie. I have some pecan pie scraps. Let's see here. We'll be back. So I found, I believe this is soft suede, but pecan pie or any other darker brown will work as a contrast for this little piece here. Now, you can get the bigger, this is one size bigger. I don't know where I put it away. Than the one we used. This is the size up. As you can see, to me, anyway, that's just too big. So we're not gonna cut that out. We're gonna just cut this. I'm just gonna eyeball and cut right around the edges, just so I have a little bit more. You could also use like a gray granite if you wanted, but I wanted to stick with the brown theme. So I'm gonna cut that out and eyeballed it, but the size that it came out to is, let's see, 1 3/4 squared. Yeah, so it's 1 3/4 squared. That will be the outline for this. Now we still have a little bit of, there'll still be a little juice with the blending brush, so just huff on it a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's do that first, but I had another idea. And there's one other thing, if you wanted to do, if you have a really good texture embossing folder, you can do that on here to give it a really cool wallet texture. But for today, I'm just gonna leave it flat. But it would look really neat to have your texture on there. Maybe if you weren't putting a pocket, that would be a cool element to do. So what I was gonna do with the edges of this is take my dark color, which is, it'd be early espresso, and then just take the edges and scrape it along your pad, even if it's the foam. So I'm just gonna, because this is another aging technique that works good, you know? Let's pull on that too. There we go. All right. There is our elements there. Let's go ahead and glue these down. And I think I'm might want to pop up the other one. So I'll just put this down here. And that goes right in that corner. So get your dimensionals. I have a little bit left on this one here. Let's leave that for something else. In the corner. All right, that's that, and in the middle. Now, depending on what kind of card you're going to do, if you wanted to do a Father's Day or Grandparents' Day or just thinking of you, I could do any of those. There's that. But I'm going to go ahead and do a happy birthday. Let's see which one we're going to use. I can just do happy birthday right there. I was thinking about like Ready, Set, Go or the welcome to the team, but let's just do happy birthday. Okay. Let's see what's done. Oh, I should have put this one away here. Okay. Now for the color, I'm still going to use Pecan Pie because I don't want it to be too strong. Just right in the corner over here. And there you go, there's the front. Just kind of simple. I think mine's a little crooked. Let's fix that. Definitely got a little crooked. And I'm ripping up all my dimensionals. There we go. So there's the front of our wallet. Just a simple front. Now, if you wanted to stamp more on there, you could. If you had a better, something with more texture other than the gears. But I'm trying to, wallets are pretty plain on the front for the guys. So we're just going to keep it as simple as we can and get work on the inside. So put that aside. Inside pocket. So for this, I'm going to use the glue. Sometimes I use the tearing tape for the inside, but I feel like the glue is going to be just fine. We want to be able to get another card in there if we want to, if you change your mind. So let me make sure. Let's see. I think I'm just going to put a little word block up there for like you're the greatest or however you want to put that there. But we want to make sure I mark it. All right, so let's just use a piece of pencil. That way we can put that one right. Yeah, okay, so just the edges here. Let's not do it on the wallet. Because this one doesn't have a bottom. So you don't want it to go all the way through. And then just find our little pencil marks. Right there, and center it. Let's use my grid so it's not quite as bad. And then we want to stick. See, this is why I like to use the tearing tape. Okay. There you go. So it'll be fine. Okay. Now on for number 2. Put that right there. We're just going to glue the edges. This one, it does have a bottom, so we're going to want to do a little bit here too. Glue. And that right there. And then again, oh, a little sploosh there. take your card and stick it in there just to give it some space. And got some glue. All right. So let's let that dry before we put any more glue or anything in there. But as you can see, there's a little bit of a give for that there. All right, now to our inside over here. This glued down. Woo! As I glued myself. That's just lovely. All right, it's there. So we can't even see all that stitching, but we know that it's there. And let's make sure it's straight, because there we go. Clean up my glue on myself here. All right. And there is our wallet card. And we can put any sentiment that we want in there. And you have your gift card. Right there for your wallet. Now, what would be kind of fun is if you have a picture of the person that you're giving this card to, is you could make them a little ID. So, let me show you some ideas for that. So I cut out a little card that would fit in here. And it just needs a little bit of give. So let's see. Oh. So let's take the harder one in here and push it in. Pull it out a couple times that way. Make sure there's no glue. See, that one fits just fine. Now we have our little mock ID that we could put there. And this would be where your gift card would go. Since this is a wallet, we should have an ID in it. Now this size is the size of the gift card. And that is 3 3/8 by 2 1/16. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be around the same size. So if you just get your gift card out and make it around the same size, and then I corner edged rounded the edges. So I'm gonna put like a square in here. So you just got a ruler out that's got the squares in it, and put a little block. We'll use the pecan pie, because that's where our little ID will go, the picture. And we're going to use the stamp sets we have out. Whoops, as I dropped them all. Oops. It's not an actual license, but we do have a car theme, so might as well go with the Ready, Set, Go, and that's going to be the state. Let's do some texture with this. Let's see. I'm just having fun now. This is taking a little bit longer. So let's just put some texture around in here, because we're just filling up some space. I mean, it's not an actual ID, so it doesn't have to be exact. Ooh, good thing I didn't drop that on there. All right. And if what you would do is take the little picture and cut that out and put the person that's getting this card. All right, ready, set, go. Use the gray granite. Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to use the darker. Let's use the early espresso. Done with the pencil. All right, ready, set, go. See, this one's dying too. I'm losing. I use my dark browns a lot. I am not liking the way this ID is coming out because it needs a picture. Anyway, it's just the idea. So let's get gray granite. Put the car on there. Let's put the. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, that's really dirty. Flags. Let's put that there. And how about racing by set? As you can tell, I have boys. So any kind of set that can be anything for a boy, I have usually added to my cart. So it's a little racer. So let's use the Secret C like we did in the front. And let's put our helmet dude right in here. There. Now we've got a head since I don't have a picture of anyone. So just get your, and let's just write, you are so awesome. All right, I don't like the pecan pie here, so I'm just gonna, I should get my square back out. Let's make it in black pen. It just doesn't work well. Alright, and since this guy is a little bit longer, let's get out, see Secret C somewhere. It's basic black. I might not have Secret C as the markers, so let's just use this here and color the rest in. There we go. There's our little mock license. All right, so here's where the license would go. And your gift card. And your wallet card. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that card. And please make sure you click on the more on my description to get to the other videos in this hop. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little wallet card here. And until next month, have a great one. Bye-bye.